Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Tony Shen. I'm back with another FL Studio stock plugin tutorial. If you're new to this channel, this is basically a series where I make beats only using stock plugins. Today we're gonna make a Ronny J aggressive 808 type beat, specifically the type beats that just go banging and the bass just cuts through everything. Everything just sounds super distorted. Now, I've already made a Ronny J tutorial before. I'm actually gonna link it in the card above so you can click it if you haven't seen it yet. But this tutorial, I kind of want to redo it and kind of explain why I do certain things and like how things work rather than just what I do, just to give you guys like a deeper analysis so that you guys can take these techniques and apply them in however way you want in your own beats. Now, before I get to the tutorial, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. I love seeing this channel grow just because I can help more people, and your support really means everything to me. So please hit the subscribe button. But let's get straight into making the melody. So we're gonna start with our sounds. We're gonna use a bell sound, which comes from Flex. This is just one of the free sounds from one of the free installed packs that you can download, but it's called Hardcore Bells. Sounds pretty Ronny J, right? I'm just gonna come up with like, you know, like a basic melody. Now 130 is like a decent tempo for his type of beat, so. Pretty loud. Boom. Right, so something in a minor key, something kind of dark, sinister, and then the sound can get a little bit experimental and hardcore. Pretty distorted already. And the flutes just go on top of that. Boom, ba-da-boom. Throw those on the mixer. With the bells, maybe cut out some of the higher frequencies, just so it doesn't beat up on the flute. Some reverb. I wonder if the flute sounds like an octave higher. Okay, so now let's work on the drums. Let's just start with a clap, right? Just to keep the rhythm going. Now these are all from Tony Shen Slapback Volume 1, so you guys can download this drum kit for free. It's in the link in the description, but for all my returning subscribers, again, I'm working on a new drum kit. Please be patient with me. I have a lot of stuff going on, but it is going to be out at least by Christmas, if not before then, so. And just go with the hats. I'm just gonna record it in. All I'm doing is recording the notes and automations, and then pressing like one of the keys on my keyboard just to basically record it manually, right? Let's turn the metronome on. literally pressing random keys. Control Q to quantize because I know I'll be off time. Sounds pretty cool. Sounds kind of like stuttering and random. Perk. You know you gotta add that perk. Okay. Where is it again? Right here? Right here, right? All right, now this is the part I want to talk about more and explain more. This is the 808. Here's what the 808 sounds like by itself, like without any mixing. Pretty generic, not too Ronny J-esque, but we're gonna take that to the next level after we come up with the melody and after we add our kick in as well. A few things you want to do with your 808, right? Maybe normalize it, because right now you see there's some space, so all normalization would do is make it louder. Next thing is maybe add an envelope so that when you release the note, it doesn't interfere into the next note. But you guys probably, like, if you've seen my videos, you guys already know the drill, right? Control E, detect pitch regions, tune it to C. So make sure that your root note is on C. Otherwise, your entire thing's gonna be out of tune. So make sure you tune your 808, right? So since the pitch region said it was C, just leave it here. But if it said D, just right click on D and then you would be in the right key. But we're gonna leave it at C because it was already tuned in the right key. But next time you work at the 808, always make sure it's on key. Anyways, let's go to the piano roll and draw a melody. So it's okay to have like a high note every now and then just to add hype, right? Even though it sounds like very out of place, that's kind of like the whole point, just to give it an obnoxious note. Now let's just copy this to the kick, but just make sure that all the notes are C because that's the original key of the sample. So if you just leave the note playing at C, it plays your original sample. Oh my God. Ooh. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. That was a lot harder than I expected. Anyways, also you can normalize the kick. Boop. And then just link all this to your mixer. So as you can see, one of the things that make your 808 sound a lot more aggressive is just the kick that you pair with it, right? Like in this case, I chose the Tobias kick just because it's very punchy and it cuts through the 808, and then that kind of gives it that like aggressive vibe. But we're not gonna stop here. I'm gonna explain the science of this in about 1 minute after I level some of these drums. But for the most part, these drums are already mixed individually, but now we're actually going to do stuff in the master. Now, Ronny J, to kind of give an explanation, right? Ronny J is one of these producers who aren't conventional, and he's like unorthodox in the very definition of the word unorthodox, right? Like he doesn't really do the things that your typical producer would recommend, or like your typical industry trained ear would tell you to do. So if you look at some of his beat making videos, like specifically the one on Genius where he made the beat Ultimate, you can see that when he's playing, literally all of these notes were peaking and were in the red region. Now effectively what that does is it goes above your 0 decibel, which like hard clips your sounds. So what hard clipping does is essentially like once your waveform, your decibels go above the 0 dB threshold, your DAW will just chop the top of the tip off, and as a result it hard clips it and just distorts the crap out of your beat. Now most producers or most engineers would be really against that because it makes it very hard for like the artist to actually sit on top of. But when Ronny J does it, it gives it that aggressive 808 like hard hitting vibe, and it's just a specific sound, and it bumps. Like I like it and a lot of people like it, but there's a lot of ways that you can achieve this effect without like making all of your sounds go above 0 dB and hard clipping it. You can achieve the same distortion effect by just distorting the master, which essentially is what happens when you overload, like when you play all of your sounds at the loudest possible volume. Essentially it does the same thing but in a more manageable way because your gain isn't like crazy high and way above the threshold. So what we're gonna do is we're going to the master, and then we're just going to use like an FL Studio distortion plugin, and that will essentially give you the same effect, right? So let's see what fast distortion sounds like. That's basically a Ronny J beat, right? Now if you just mess with these knobs, you kind of like find let's try adding maybe like Blood Overdrive, which is another FL Studio distortion plugin. I think I like fast distortion better. I think it sounds better. Now we can just, quickly arrange this, and we just essentially made the entire beat. So split by channel, and then I'll just okay. It's a lot faster than dragging them individually, right? And just starts with the 808 maybe. Typical Ronny J, right? That's the whole beat. So I'm gonna play the beat from the start. That's all I really have. It's a quick tutorial, but I want you to understand how to use distortion and how Ronny J gets his aggressive sounding beats. So now that you know this method, you can apply it to like literally any scenario, and it's more of like a broad topic that, again, is deeper in terms of like understanding what you need to actually do. So with that being said, I'm gonna play the beat, but before I preview the beat for you guys, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. It really means a lot to me, and I love the support you guys have been giving me. I'm almost at 1K, and I'm super excited, so thank you guys so much. I'm gonna play the beat.